Some say death is the end. But in the heart of our people, we know it is not so. A mother's spirit does not fade into silence. It lingers. In the wind that sings through the trees. In the storm that shields us. In the courage that rises within us when all seems lost. Tonight, I will tell you the story of Akos, and how the spirit of our mother protected a whole village, even in death. Please stay with me as I tell you our mother's story. Please do not forget to support our channel by subscribing, liking and sharing with your loved ones. Your support means the world to us. Now let's get back to our story. The spirit of our mothers. In the village of Koji, the night was never silent. When the wind moved through the towering baobab trees, the people said it was not just air and leaves. The voices of mothers who had passed on, still guarding their children. Some swore they heard lullabies. Others claimed the voices thundered warnings in the storm. Among those who believed most deeply was a little girl named Okos. Okos's mother died when she was only 5 years old. To lose a mother so young should have left her in emptiness. But Okos never felt truly abandoned. When she lay awake, trembling in the dark, a melody would brush her ears, her mother's song, the very one that once carried her to sleep. When she walked the forest path and fear gripped her chest, a warm wind curled around her hand, as if her mother was still there, guiding her steps. Years passed. Okos grew taller, her eyes sharper, her heart steadier. But the village itself began to wither. The once proud river dried to cracked earth. Fields yielded nothing but dust. Hunger spread like fire, and with hunger came despair. Yet in Okos's dreams, her mother still came. Dressed in flowing white, her eyes glowing with a light gentler than the moon. Child, do not be afraid. You carry my blood. You carry my courage. Okos would wake with tears in her eyes, but also strength in her spirit. For she knew her mother was not gone. Not truly. One evening, as the sun bled red across the horizon, shadows rolled down from the north. Raiders. Fierce men with blades and fire. The village erupted in panic. Doors slammed shut, children were pulled into corners, prayers stumbled into the night. The people hid, trembling, waiting for doom to fall. But Okos did not hide. She stood in the open square, her body shaking like any others, yet her spirit unbroken. She remembered her mother's words. And in that moment, she felt her mother's presence, surrounding her, wrapping her like unseen armor. When the raiders surged forward, Okos raised her hand high and shouted, "This land belongs to our mothers. Leave, or face their wrath." The sky darkened. Clouds gathered thick and heavy. The trees bent low as a storm clawed its way from the earth itself. And in the roar of the wind came voices. Not one voice, but many. The voices of mothers, crying, shouting, singing, an unbroken chorus of power. The raiders staggered. They clutched their ears. For what they heard was not merely sound. It was every mother's cry of protection, every oath of love turned to fury. Fear pierced their hearts. One by one, they turned. They dropped their weapons. And they fled into the night, never to return. The storm calmed. The voices faded into the hush of wind. The villagers slowly emerged, eyes wide with disbelief. They looked at Okos, trembling still but standing tall. To them, it seemed she had summoned the storm itself. But Okos knew the truth. It was not her strength alone. It was the spirit of her mother, and the spirits of all the mothers before her, who rose that night to protect them. From that day, the people of Koji taught their children, a mother's love does not die. It becomes wind, fire, water, and shield. Even in death, it fights for us. Because a mother's spirit is the first home we ever knew, and the last one we ever lose. This has been a tale from Echoes of Our Mothers, where the voices of the past still walk beside us. If this story touched your spirit, remember to like, share, and subscribe, so these echoes may reach more hearts across the world. Until we meet again, may the wisdom of our mothers guide your steps, in life, in dream, and in memory.